Well, I hope you got the notification that Jeffrey Darty is live on YouTube. And we're talking about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, talking about shadow men, talking about angles, talking about the hounds that guard the way out of this existence. Ladies and gentlemen, powerful stuff, amazing stuff, interesting stuff, stuff that's going to blow your mind. I guarantee it. Speaking of mind blowing, this morning's interview with Magenta Pixie on the channel now, powerful stuff. Last night's interview with Derek Bros, followed by and overlapping a bit with Scotty Roberts and the Consequential Rapscallions. Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. We've had, I think, 3 interviews now with Derek, just powerful. And somehow, ladies and gentlemen, I skipped over tablet 8. We did tablet 9. I skipped over tablet 8, and I have so much synchronicity in my life now that it's almost become commonplace. The supernatural has become natural in my life. And I hate to be so matter of fact, but that's just the way it is. And we were just talking last night about shadow men, hat men, and here we are, boom, into tablet 8, talking about shadow men. Did it out of order, didn't mean to do it out of order. That is synchronicity extraordinaire. And that's the story of my life. So welcome to my life. It's a wild ride. It's a fun ride. And I can smell some eggplant parmesan that I've got in the oven. That's going to be delicious. I want you to get your MYSTECH bracelets. They will put you at the Schumann resonance. They will stop all your cells from colliding, put them into harmony. I want you to get Fluffy installed on your home or your cell phone. It's in the box below. It'll put you at a high consciousness level between 500 and 560, self-adjusting to your personal level of spiritual awareness. And it just makes everything work better. Why not try it for free? You can do 15 days in the house free, 15 days for the home free. Do it, or just sign up. It's great stuff. So let's jump right now into this great study about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And let's get it set to where we can play this stuff. Here we go. Tablet number 8, the missing tablet. I don't know why. Whoops. I don't know why I skipped it, but I'm not going to skip it this time. So tablet 8. Time is not on our side, ladies and gentlemen. I know the song says that time is on our side, but time really is not on our side. And Thoth's wisdom comes from beyond time, comes from beyond space, comes from the etheric realms. And we are, ladies and gentlemen, trying to get ourselves outside of time because that's where divinity lives. We're divine, we're sovereign, we're free. We're going to manifest it, and we will get ourselves outside of time. We're working to get outside of time. And when we get outside of time, and I believe that we can be outside of time while in this realm. Why do I believe it? Because the Christ did it. He was outside of time. He was in this realm. He could change forms and bodies. He could disappear and reappear. He could look different. And he said, hey, whatever I've done, you can do an even greater. And Thoth talks about the 7 as the gods of wisdom. The 7 is us. The 7 is in you. It's an inside job. Find it. Get to know your own wisdom. Now, the key to this whole thing, there's a reason why the master kept saying the light of the world, the light of the world, the light of the world, because in order for us to grow, to manifest, in order for us to become who we're supposed to be, we've got to stay focused on light, even in the very midst of darkness. We're ever changing, so we must be ever focused. And I'm going to tell on myself because I thought that I was pretty much, you get as much as you resist it, it still happens to people. You think, man, I'm in a good spot. And then all of a sudden I find out that there's glaring things in my life that need to be changed. Like I need to buy a bunch of new clothes because even these clothes that used to be tight are loose now. And that's a direct result of Jay Campbell and SANDRA helping me out. Thank you so much to both of you. But we've got to continue to be focused because just when you think you've arrived, you haven't. It's like a long trip. You go to one place. We're always moving on. Just like George and Wheezy, we're moving on up, ladies and gentlemen. And when we change away from the form of this world, it lifts us up to higher planes. It lifts us up to higher dimensions. It lifts us up to higher dimensions, like Magenta Pixie was saying this morning, as we learn to integrate our emotions and we learn to move up and we learn to go beyond just mastering the matrix, but becoming the architect of the matrix. That's what it does. And oneness in and with light is our goal. And we just talked about the law of one. Was it last night or the night before? It was Thursday night. We talked about the law of one. Wednesday night, we talked about the law of one, Sandra and I. Synchronicity, everything's just feeding into itself. And it's not planned. I've got to tell you, it's not planned. I wish I could say I plan things this well. I plan things this meticulously, but I don't. It's synchronicity running rampant in my life, and that is a good thing. And he talks about learning about the Earth's heart. And was it a week ago we talked about the Earth being Sophia? Make mom proud. Folks, synchronicity. And how long we were talking about the serpent and the dove in the palm tree. We're talking about I was talking to this morning with Magenta Pixie about getting messages from trees and plants and animals. And here's Toth saying we need to learn to communicate with nature without words, folks. Synchronicity. Something's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Something's brewing, ladies and gentlemen. Something big is about to happen. We used to sing this dumb song in church. I believe that something good is about to happen. I believe that something good is on its way. I believe that something good is going to happen. It could be this very day. Stupid song, but good message, because I believe that something good's about to happen. It was Robert Stanley who said it the other night. Wow, was that an epic interview? Jay, Robert Stanley, myself, we're trying to put together one with Jay, Derek Bros, Global Witness, and myself. Wow. But Robert Stanley, very optimistic. Yes, things are going to happen. Yes, it's going to be bad for some people. But for those of us that are working and pushing and doing and growing and going and mowing down the weeds, pulling them up, doing what we got to do, doing that inside work, doing that inside job, let me tell you, folks, something good is on its way. Something good is on its way. We're beings of earth. We're beings of fire. Get in touch with mom. Let that fire burn. Burn up all that ego. Burn up all that dross. Burn up all that stuff that's not like you, that's not really you, so you can stand forth. Wisdom is found in darkness, but it's only because we have to go into what we perceive as our inner darkness to find our light. And only striving or fire brings light into our minds. You gotta light the match. You got to burn up everything that's wood, hay, stubble, not like who you're supposed to be. And there's shadow people. Toth's talking about shadow people. We talked about shadow people last night. I still say shadow men because I never seen a shadow girl. Don't know if they existed. If you've seen one, let me know. I've never seen one. And are these today's shadow men? Are they the same ones that Toth was talking about all those years ago? Or are these their offspring? And Toth, people were asking just last night about shadow men. Toth seems to say they're from another time or another dimension, and that they're always here, but they exist in a different frequency or a different vibration, and they only manifest at certain times, or we only see them at certain times. They hide between dimensions, between spaces and places and times. And I don't really understand how this would work, but Toth says they actually exist by vampirizing us of energy, which I can understand, but they also vampirize us of actual blood. They vampirize us of blood. They vampirize us of blood, as Sandra tries to call me. She's out on the road, doesn't realize that I'm live with you here. Sorry, baby. But anyway, they actually vampirize us, ladies and gentlemen. They actually vampirize us. And they vampirize us of blood. And think about your religion that is a blood religion. And I am going to do something terrible. In the middle of a live show, I am going to text my love and say, I'm live, baby. And Sandra says hi to everybody. I'm sure. And we all say hi to her. But this is very interesting. Shadow men. I've never seen this happen. But if I ever run into one again, I'm going to see. Because Toth says that when the glamour or the, you know, I think that's a Harry Potter thing, glamour. It's supposed to be like invisibility or this cloak. So when their glamour is lifted, their true form is that they're serpent-headed. They're reptilians, ladies and gentlemen. And we were just talking about reptilians with Robert and Jay and with Derek. It's just amazing. And Thoth tells us that sometimes these reptilians even manifest as normal men, normal women. And he goes on to tell us that these reptilian beings have infiltrated the councils of men. And folks, they have also infiltrated the councils of the churches. Your pastor might be a reptilian. Your district presbyter might be a reptilian. The head of your denomination might be a reptilian. Your priest, your cardinal, your monsignor, the pope, they might be reptilians. They might be reptilians. And this is the way that they're ruling over us, by getting into the power of positions of power. And just want to make sure that's not an emergency with my love. I know some of you don't like this. That's okay. You can, there's a lot of other channels if you don't want to watch this. But anyway, Thoth tells us how to expose reptilians, and it's not by catching them on webcams. I've said it before. Some of you don't like it. You're not going to catch a reptilian on a $5 webcam from Walmart. Low quality, bad cameras. You're not catching any reptilians that way. Thoth says we can locate reptilians, though, by sound, which is amazing, and by magic. What is magic? The focusing of our intention. You get a blink, something's not right, you focus, boom, you can see that it's a reptilian. I got to find that sound. I got to find that word, because Thoth says there's a word. Their aim is to usurp our place. They want to take our place. They're jealous of us. And our magic, Thoth says, lifts the veil from the face of the serpent and empowers us to send him back to his place, which Thoth says is a realm below. I don't think it's underground. I think it's actually a realm that is a different time. And I think it's a different density, lower than this density. So are they from 2D? I don't really know the specifics of it, but that's what I think Thoth is saying. They're from below, but I don't think he means, hello, Sandra. I don't think he means from below the earth, although there's probably some there. I think he's talking about they're from a more dense existence. They're from a heavier vibration and frequency. That's what I think. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and they are just from the deep. I don't know. But I'm telling you, Thoth says they're there, and Thoth says that we can banish them by magic, our intention, and we can know them by sound, by frequency. If we tune into their frequency, we can hear, our blink will tell us that they're reptilian. And Thoth says there's a word or a sound that unveils them and banishes them. I wonder if it's the hue. That just came to me. Maybe it is the hue. Maybe it's the 432, like this 432 bracelet I've got on. Maybe that's why I don't see them, because they can't get past that 432 field. But Thoth tells us, be aware they're here, be aware they're active. And he tells us, listen, guys, you can bind these creatures while you're here in the flesh. It's not something for the sweet by and by up in the sky after we die. No, it's right here while we're still around, down here on the ground. Of course, I'm being ridiculous. I don't think we're going up into heaven. I'm just kind of being silly for you. Hello, Delaney. Good to see you. And we can bind them while we're in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen. We can bind them while we're in the flesh. So don't think that you're powerless. Don't think that you can't do anything. You can bind these creatures. You can unveil these creatures while you're here in the flesh. Going back into this for one moment. Let me do this again. Share screen. I've only been working Zoom for how long, and why can't I figure it out? There we go. Now, I'm not trying to step on people's toes, but Thoth says don't seek darkness. And throughout our truther realm, I don't think it has bled into the new age. I had it on my notes to ask Magenta Pixie, but we had such a great conversation, I didn't get to it. Maybe I'll ask her privately. There's this idea that's creeping into our truther realms that we came from darkness. Darkness is first. Darkness is best. Darkness is the most real. And what it is, what it comes from, and this is probably why I'm here, while I'm here to work and to help, is that it comes from a terrible mistranslation and a woeful misunderstanding of the book of Genesis. In the beginning, the gods created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Jeff, that's very clear. No, it's not very clear. And let me come off of this so I can be very frank and honest with you, and I can be very direct with you, and I can be very, very easy, and try not to bash your head. It's a good thing I'm not wearing or using caffeine anymore. I'm down to about under 20% of my normal caffeine intake. Thank you, Sandra. What a tremendous difference it makes in my life. Remember, these creatures came from us. Our negative energy helped manifest this darkness, and we can get rid of them just the same. That's why I love this woman. Bam. And what was I just saying? Oh, this whole darkness thing. What the ancient Hebrew scriptures are really saying, if they are correctly translated, is in the beginning, the gods created the heavens and the earth. Isaiah said it was a beautiful earth, that it was created to be inhabited. And Jeremiah says it had plants and trees and people and birds and animals. It was a gorgeous, beautiful place. And the earth the earth became. Every other place in the Bible, that word is translated became. The earth became without form and void. And after it became without form and void, there was darkness upon the face of the deep. The fact that darkness was remarkable shows us that there was light before. We did not come from darkness. That's a gross misunderstanding, a dangerous mistranslation, and you can't allow yourself to go there. You did not come from darkness. Darkness is not where we were born from. Darkness is not our natural state, at least if we're people seeking the mother and the father and trying to grow and go beyond this. You might be from darkness, but not if you're on the ascension path. Be you truther or be you new ager. It's darkness is a lie. Darkness is a deception. Don't buy that. We're not from darkness. You make me want to be a better man. That's what he said to her. So we've got to be very, very careful with this. It's a terrible translation, and it sounds kind of interesting, but it's not real. Now, let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, that we do need to get into darkness. We do need to get into the dark night of our soul. We do need to get into the part of us that is dark because we fear it, that is dark because it contains all the junk. We've got to get into that and strike a match and burn it up and let it become fire and light. Don't seek darkness, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be very careful. And for the first time ever in the history of YouTube, and I think for the first time ever in the history of any type of spiritual study, I'm going to go from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth to the first century Greek scriptures that you might call the New Testament. I don't think it's ever been done before. You won't see this anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to go from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth to the Greek scriptures from the first century that many of you would call the New Testament. You don't even have to like the Bible for this to grab you, because it's going to be amazing. And again, this is written by Paul, who is the false apostle. This is written by Paul, which helped start the fear and guilt control matrix that we live under right now. And he's proclaiming to us a truth, because they have to for some reason. And he's bragging that he's enabled us and he's caused us to do this thing. Because that even when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were they thankful, but they became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Even when we show, Derek Bros and I think WSO and Naughty Beaver, I've reached out to those guys. I hope that we can get together. People like Wayne, people like me, we show you from the scriptures. We show you from the scriptures themselves. That's a big Bible. It's bigger than my head. This is the one I preached from for about 10 of those 20 years. I show you from this book that the God of the Bible is Satan, that the God of the Bible is the enemy, that the God of the Bible is a murderer, the God of the Bible is jealous, the God of the Bible is vengeful, the God of the Bible is wrathful, the God of the Bible is a psychopath, a narcissist, and a sociopath, all in one. We show you this from the Bible, from the very thing that you claim to be. It's the illimitable word of God, every jot, every tittle, every line, every promise in the book is mine. Well, what about the things that aren't promises? What about the place where I show you and Derek shows you and Wayne shows you where your God is the devil? You're of your father, the devil. We show you who God really is. We show you who your God really is. But even when we show you the good God of the Bible, the God that says you're not filled with original sin, you've got the spark of divinity within. Even when we show you the good God of the Bible that says, love yourself, love your neighbor as yourself. We show you that good God, but you won't glorify him as God. You won't glorify her as God. You won't glorify the gods. You're not even thankful, but you become vain and foolish in your imaginations, and you let your heart go dark. Even with this light we're pumping out to you, your heart is dark. And this is what I wanted to get to. Professing yourself to be smart and wise, you become like fools. Let's look at that in verse number 22 in the original Greek here, 1:22. This is what I'm talking about with this darkness thing. Sometimes we can get so smart that we outsmart ourselves. Professing ourselves to be wise. Professing ourselves to be wise, learned, cultivated, skilled, and clever. Oh, we're so clever. We think we're so clever that we want to come up with something new and different because we're oh so clever. And saying that we're so clever, we actually make ourselves look foolish. We make ourselves useless. And that's what I'm warning you against when you want to say we came from darkness. Let's go back to darkness. Darkness is our heritage. No, it's a horrible translation. Horrible translation. In the beginning, the gods created the heavens and the earth. It was beautiful. It was perfect. It was inhabited. It was full of light. It was full of beauty. Sophia is the organic light. She created this. She became this. She is this. It's light. It's light. But it was without form and void in darkness. No, it became. The word is became everywhere else in the Bible. Became without form and void. Got wrecked by Yahweh, the same God that we're trying to show you is a psychopath. And then the darkness came. So if you are born in darkness, you're born in the heart of rebellion and sin and the dark heart of the dark, rebellious, revengeful, jealous, wrathful God. Is that the heritage you want to claim? It's up to you. But I'm telling you, and Toth is telling you, don't go there. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Don't become so wise that you end up being a fool. Fear is the obstacle. Overcome this and we overcome all. Fear's ego-based. There's a guarded barrier trying to keep us in this system even after we leave this body. The guardians aren't of this dimension. They will chase us after death. I got to go grab something real quick. Watch this. Sorry, I just had to turn the oven off in the soon-to-be vacant NCK bunker. Hopefully the soon-to-be sold NCK bunker. But when we leave this life, ladies and gentlemen, there's a barrier, and it's guarded. And the guardians of this barrier are not after this dimension, and they will chase us after death. And holding on or going back to your body is not an answer. And guess what? Toth says your only protection is the circle. What's he talking about? The only protection is for you to be divine and sovereign and free as an individual. If you're one of these individuals that are involved in this interconnected, overlapped system of the enemy, you don't stand a chance. It's more than just not having a wife that submits to you, brother. It's not getting out of this system and coming back again and again and again and again until you get it through your thick pee that this is not the way it's supposed to be. The answer's in the circle, Toth says. Why have I been drawing circles for 2 weeks? Because this is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to be. We're working together. We're building this thing, but we're not enmeshed. The circle protects you. The circle of divinity, sovereignty, and freedom, not this garbage up here. This is the Matrix plan. This is what the Matrix wants you to be. And this barrier is outside of time. And I don't know what there is, but there's something about angles, ladies and gentlemen. Toth says over and over that these beings hide in angles. And their goal is to wear us down until we are energetically exhausted. They want to keep us in this system, this demonic, satanic, enemy-based system for so long that we keep coming back and back and back and back and back until we finally are energetically exhausted and we cease to be and go back and fertilize the energetic realm. Until you can get to this, you're coming back again. But once you realize the beauty of this system, and if you're supposed to be here to manifest your own oneness and stuff, great. A lot of us are here to manifest and work with another. And if we get to this, we got to move from this to this and this when we're working together, and this will set us free. This is the circle that sets you free. This is the angles, the circle. There's no, oh, snap. Yep. There's no angles in this. 0 angles in this. 0 angles. No angles. No angles. It's all curve. What's this right here? What is that right there? That's an angle. What's that right there? That's an angle. Where do the enemies hide? In the freaking angles. This is why I've been drawing circles for 2 weeks. Sandra says she wants me to draw a nice one so we can post it on the wall at home. That was hilarious, dear. That was so funny, baby. I love that. Guys, come on. I can't make it any more plain for you. Why do we all live in angles when our enemies dwell in angles? I want to live in a circle. I want to live in a round house. But Jeff, this is the flower of life. It's beautiful. It's pretty. And you keep it and they go out and they look so gorgeous. They're pretty. Yeah. Traps are supposed to be pretty. Traps are supposed to be attractive. Traps are supposed to look good. You wouldn't walk into a trap if it looked like a trap. And Toth says the Great Barrier, very few of us ever get through it. I wonder, and I might ask Derek this next time we're together. Is the Great Barrier of Toth the narrow gate that few are able to pass through? And next time we're on to tablet 9. Let's see if there's anybody left in the chat room after that epic rant that I just went on. Sometimes you just get wound up, and sometimes you got to get wound up. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen. So let's run through this real quickly. Robin watched the Magenta Pixie broadcast. I'm glad you did. The first hour, Derek, is in the recording. It's in there. It loads up a little bit late, but it's there. Trust me, all 3 hours are there. If you look at it now, it's in there. I've never experienced synchronicity until a couple of weeks ago. Synchronicity is the norm in my life now. I don't even get surprised anymore. We're creating as we go. Exactly, we are. Thank you, Jason. I think once you rightfully declare I'm the light, in me there is no darkness, things that you think aloud are in your mind that begin to manifest. Certainly doesn't hurt. Certainly doesn't hurt. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Thank you, Catherine. I try. You can't be any better than you already are. You can't be any better than you already are. You can't be any better than you already are. I'm not sure what you mean by that, sweetheart. I was just listening to 46 plus 2 by Tool in your notification. I don't know anything about Tool, but I'm sure that's profound. You can't tell that it's different people writing passages through context. It was John, David. What? Was it John or Paul, which said they had penned most of Mary Magdalene's writings? Well, oh, thank you, baby. It was in the John. John was the one who supposedly did it. Oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. I see what you mean. Yes, I can, baby. I'm getting better every single day, and you're helping me do it. And a lot of my great friends are helping me do it. Thank you so much. I love you very much. Connecting the dots from Thoth to the Bible, I don't think it's ever happened before, and it is pretty great. It does make total sense. It was John, David. Sandra's exactly right. And I'm coming close to the conclusion. I did a show yesterday about, was Mary Magdalene the disciple that Jesus loved? I'm very close to saying that John was written by Mary Magdalene. And if John was written by Mary Magdalene, was Mary Magdalene the Christ? I'm just saying, I'm just following, I'm just connecting the dots, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just collecting the dots. People of Scripture need to reach out, search out the original words. Yes, they do. Are those guardians the ones who move in angles if you try to cheat time in the astral plane? Yeah. Very well put. Very well put. Thoth describes the hounds that follow you back to this dimension. Yes, they can't follow you in straight lines, but they can follow you in straight lines, but they can't if you move in spirals. Robert, we just talked about spirals with Robert Stanley and Jay and with Derek. That's just amazing. That's just amazing. And Sandra, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That includes being overlapped with anything, not just in a relationship, I think she meant. And that's the point, because this is not just a relationship thing. I know that, I've been relating it to relationships, but let me relate it to something better. Maybe some of you haven't seen this. It's kind of hard to believe if you've been watching me the last 2 weeks. All I've been doing is drawing circles, but let me show you this real quickly. This is, and we're just going to relate it to us, because if you're here, ladies and gentlemen, you want the great mission. You want part of the great mission. You're in part of the great mission. This great mission is to, as Sandra hates for me to say, change the world. We're trying to change the world. And this is the big mission of changing the world. And here's me changing the world. And here's Sandra changing the world. And here's Derek Bros changing the world. And here's Malia changing the world. And here's Halo changing the world. And here's Scotty Roberts changing the world, and Heidi Vandenberg, and Jenny Moonstone, and Dan from Overwatch Channel, and Wayne's changing the world. But you see, we're all changing the world together, but we're not overlapped together. We're changing the world, but we're not overlapped together. Sorry. That's the way it's supposed to be, just in the world. And let's not even talk about changing the world. Let's just talk about the regular world that you live in, ladies and gentlemen. The regular world you live in, they want this. They want this beautiful sacred geometry. Oh, it's beautiful. It's the Vesca Pisces, and it's beautiful, and oh, we love it. It looks so pretty, and it's the Olympics, and everything's wonderful. But the reason why they do that is because it creates these areas of connection. And these are areas that can be hacked. And if you can hack into one area, you can take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these things are so interconnected, ladies and gentlemen. I could fill this whole page with these connected circles. And all I have to do is take down one, and the virus spreads to the whole organism. This is why the enemy system is this Vesca Pisces system of connectivity and interconnectivity. It sounds good, it feels good, it looks pretty, but it's the enemy system, because it creates areas of vulnerability, and we're overlapped and we're intermingled. We're not divine. We're not sovereign. We're not free. Can't you see the difference? There's no angles here. Look at this, is full of angles. Thoth just told you. Your enemies are in the angles. And yet you want to embrace a system that's full of angles because it's so pretty. It looks pretty. I've got it on my wallpaper. I got it on my car. I got it on my notebook. It's on my iPad cover. It's so pretty. It's on the back of my phone in sparkly gold. I love it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful gilded cage. And you may like it, but Robin Redbreast in a cage sets all the really awakened folks in a rage. You're a beautiful bird, and you're in this cage singing like you got something going on, and you don't know that you're bound, and they'll never be able to get out. Toth tells you, Darty tells you, Bros tells you, Angelo tells you, Steiger tells you. How many times do you have to hear the message before you realize I'm not coming into the cage and taking you by the ear and pulling you out? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get enmeshed with you. It's a 0 point. It's a, oh, Sandra. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is worth the price of admission. Oh, my goodness. Sandra D, this is just brilliant. This is a download, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I love her. Yes, she's cute. She's beautiful. Cooks good. Does a lot of stuff good. But this is what a divine, sovereign, and free person looks like. What is that? It's a 0, aka the 0 point, which is where you're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. You can cancel every contract that's ever been put on you. You can make new ones. It's a 0. It's the 0 point. Sandra, salute. That's beautiful. That's as good as I've ever heard right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 0. It's the 0 point. Wow. That's the circle Toth says to travel in. Oh, my goodness. Who said that? Nick. Nick, you're almost as smart as Sandra. That's a beautiful one. Toth says they'll get you in angles. Don't go into the enemy system. If you travel in this circle, which is the DSF circle, the divine, sovereign, free circle, they can't get you. This is your, do I really want to say this? Do I really want to say this? Let me show you something. Boy, I'm really going to blow some people up right now. I have to say this. I don't want to say this, but I have to say this. I have to say this. Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Do I really have to say this? I think I do. I think I have to say this. What is that, ladies and gentlemen? What is that? That's a Merkaba. A Merkaba, whatever you call it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Just at first glance, I see 32 angles. Where do our enemies hide? In angles. How many angles do you see in that? None. Toth said to travel in circles, but everybody says we need to do our Merkaba. Yeah? What have we said about something when everybody says it? What have we said about something when everybody believes it? I just thought I'd give you something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought I'd give you something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 0, the 0 point. Do you really want to travel in a Merkaba that's full of angles? Do you really want to travel in a circle in a Merkaba that's full of angles? I'm trying to get back to where I lost the chat. Sorry. This is a really good chat. Thank you for being present. It's a 0 point. 2021 excellent point angles change the direction of energy. Ah, that's so good. 2021 and Sandra, thanks for noticing that. Roundhouse like a yurt, and you can get yourself a nice yurt. Trust me. Curves and circles indicate flow. Bam, Tracy. Beautiful, beautiful. And we were talking today about with the Magenta Pixie about curves. Yes, there's 15 tablets that we know of. Jeff, we love to come here when you rant. Well, I'm glad because every now and then I do. Is the circle the flow state? Yes, it is the flow state. That's beautiful. That's what a circle is. It's flow. And when you get, and I don't want to, crap. I'll do it like Derek. I hate to do that. I'm a little bit of a neatnik. And we'll take it down to relationship again, which because everybody wants relationships. You want to talk about flow. Here's the energy within a relationship. Continual flow in this kind of a relationship. You want some flow? It'll be Flow Rida, like the only rapper I know. These Thoth tablet interpretations from Jeffrey are excellent. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I tried to do the Thoth, the Emerald tablets for a long time, couldn't do it. Thanks for explaining that, Jeff. My pleasure. Looking to sand rice shapes on drums. Yes, I was just talking about that with Magenta Pixie today. I bet Jeff doesn't know how to draw a square or an octagon. I'm not going to draw one because they got angles. Like in Harry Potter, the Alley of Dangerous Angles. I know nothing about Harry Potter. I know nothing about Harry Potter. Nothing. But if he's got a Hall of Dangerous Angles, they're dropping some truth on you. This may be why building a shield is a good idea. I don't know, honey. We'll have to talk about that. I'm not sure where you're coming from on that one. You guys will be all set with building shields. How do agents get undercover with people? They find an angle into them. Even think of our just the way we talk. Oh, she's work. What angle's he working? What's your angle? Good stuff. Jeff is the ripple in the pond spreading out. Now, I don't make as big a ripple as I used to because I lost all that weight, but can't touch this. I was thinking of the Merkaba. Interesting. Yeah. Sandra was thinking of the Merkaba at the same time I was. Yeah. I really hate to be the guy that says, do we really want to travel in Merkabas? And again, look at Sandra. We don't talk. She's hundreds of miles from me. We haven't talked. And she's like, before I put it up, there's nothing but angles in the Merkaba, literally. And when visualized, it cuts the body in half. How could that be a good thing? I know, and Magenta Pixie would probably turn crimson over me saying this, but I think I'd love to talk to her about this. She's a great open-minded person. Maybe I bet we could find some middle ground to talk about this. But dude, the Merkaba and angles, I don't know. I just don't know. Magical ceremonies are done in circles. Brilliant. I wonder if fallen angels or fallen angles. Oh, Troy, that's good stuff. That, because every time I write angles, I write angels. You're on to something, Troy. I don't know. I ain't traveling in no Merkaba. Sorry. Don't want nothing to do with the Merkaba. Too many angles for me, man. So should we get rid of all representation? That's up to you, awakened being, but I don't want no angles. Jeff, dicord. I don't know what that is. When I did the 12D shield, I've always pictured a round circle. Yeah, I pictured it kind of a cylinder, which is round. There's no angles. Yeah, round and flowing, as Sandra says. Yeah, Merkaba always seemed kind of sketchy to me. So are you saying that Merkaba meditation that activates your field tetrahedron may be a trap due to the angles in the tetrahedron? That's very thought-provoking. That's what I'm saying, Robert, U.S. Navy veteran, 3rd generation. I'm saying we should consider that. If you have any resonance with the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, if you think Thoth had any idea what he was talking about, if you think Thoth is Baba G, who's still helping folks out, the Merkaba tetrahedron might be a trap, and it's a beautiful trap. It's a compelling trap. It's a gorgeous trap. You have drawn so many circles that I'm beginning to think of them in 3D. I see a toroid now. Perfect, because that's what they really are. The pull, what was that? What was that? Just pulled off a ring that has the angles. Donate. Thank you. That's interesting. Merkaba could mean craft or ship. The Merkaba is formed within the mind. So how could an enemy get within the angles of your mind? They're in angles. They're spiritual beings. They're energetic beings. If you're making an energetic projection from your mind with angles, you're giving them an entry point. It is definitely a good topic for discussion. You know, that's funny, Nancy. When you smudge your house, you always go to the angles of it. Yeah, you go around the edges, the corners, because we all know, we all instinctively know that corners and angles are where creepy crawlies hide. Even roaches and bugs hide in those corners. Unclean, base things hide in corners and angles. And yet we want to travel around in Merkabas. That's nothing but an angle. And an angle, and an angle, and an angle, and an angle. Wow. Circles of protection. Wow, that's something else. Does a circle fit over a Merkaba? I think that's irrelevant. But don't let me. Thoth said to travel in circles. He just said travel in circles. That's what he said. Travel in circles. Our blink will help guide us away from angles. Merkaba, light, ka, spirit, body. Yeah. Isn't there a Freemasonry symbol that depicts a triangle atop a sphere circle? Yeah. There was a discussion on the death Merkaba. Ooh. Ashiana Dean. I'll have to try to look him or her up. Our physical bodies are a trap. Yes, they are. I've never understood why houses and homes were not made in circles instead of squares. I know. When I smudge, Sandra says she makes circles around herself. She does. What a smart woman. What a smart woman. Back in the day, kids were sent to the corner when they were bad. That is just brilliant. I love hanging out with smart people, and you guys are the smartest. I mean, there's just download after download, revelation after revelation popping off in this chat room. There's more coming. I want to point this out to you guys. I should go back and count them, but in the Kabbalah, the Sephiroth are circles, but they're joined by angles. Isn't that a beautiful picture of, oh man, you want to see a picture of diamond and dung? You want to see a picture of deception? And I don't know exactly how many there are. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this is what the tree of life in the Kabbalah kind of looks like. Beautiful, right? Oh, but let's make sure we screw it up, and let's make sure that we make it bad, and let's make sure that we make it a trap. So let's go ahead and let's do a bunch of angles connecting everything. That's diamond and dung right there. That's truth and error. That's the enemy's way of tricking you. Okay, Jeff, so now you've gone after Merkabas and the Kabbalistic tree of life. To be fair, let me pull up the Kabbalah tree of life just so you can actually see it. I think I did it right. Because remember, I was New Covenant Kabbalah for a minute. I didn't get enough circles in there, but let me show you what I'm talking about anyway. It's a perfect picture of deception, ladies and gentlemen. A perfect, beautiful picture of deception, the way the enemy works. Look at this. Beautiful circles. And you know what? Oh, gosh, beautiful circles. Beautiful truth. And then let's throw some angles in on all around it so we can screw everything up. Wow. Let's throw some angles in so we can mess everything up. That might be a beautiful system minus those angles. Wow. No doubt the best chat room on YouTube, without a doubt, ladies and gentlemen. Sent to the corner. That's just amazing. Look at the dung on top of the diamonds in that Merkaba. Yep. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff doesn't have Facebook. Jeff killed his Facebook. It is seriously creepy to think about. What did Sandra say that was, yeah, they were sent to the corner. Yeah, so your kids have been bad, so go send them in the corner where all the bad stuff hangs out so they can be even more bad. Kay Haley, think about what you just asked me, Kay. Think about what you just asked me. Would you like to, should I form a triangle of protection? Why should I form a triangle of protection? Why would I want a triangle of protection if angles are where the enemy hides? 1, 2, 3. Would you rather have 3 angles where enemies can hide or 0 angles where enemies can hide? It's up to you. It's up to you. David Gregg. This conversation is full circle. Boom. A healthy cell is round. A diseased one loses its roundness. Oh, you want to carry that another step further? Oh, I don't believe I'm going to say this. A healthy cell is round, right? A healthy cell is round. And there's a disease called sickle cell, which affects mainly African Americans currently. And these cells get all caught up in each other, and it kills people. And what does that remind you of? Islam. Just saying. Just saying. Sandra just sent me a really good text. Actually, no, sweetheart. Let's look at that ring again. I think we will see something different when we look at it again. So we'll take a look at that. Whatever makes you feel better, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We could go on all day, but I'm stopping right now. I don't know how Derek does it, getting that stuff all over his hands. Angles don't occur in nature. God doesn't build in straight lines. Mother doesn't build in straight lines. Angles don't naturally occur in nature. The connection you just made between sickle cells and sickles. What are the sickles for? Chopping people down. Kabbalah is not deception. The connected lines show the interrelation between the circles. I'm just saying there's angles in that tree of life. That's all I'm saying. The 5-pointed star's got a lot of angles too. Yes, it do. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is great when you guys bring as much to the show, to the podcast, as I do. For Sandra D, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. RobReflections.org, serpentanddove.org, JeffreyDarty.com, all under the NCK umbrella. Ooh, that's good, Rainbow Phoenix. Unindoctrinate yourself. I know it's almost 6 o'clock, Rooney. I'm almost done. You will get your meaties. Relax. I think you just wanted to say hi to everybody. Everybody say hello to one of the new cosmic kittens. We have 2 new cosmic kittens now. This is the original new cosmic kitten. Now we have a new cosmic kitten. So we have 2 cosmic kittens. And this is a hungry cosmic kitten. He must be the spokesperson. Rooney, our eyes match and your eyes match my shirt. Sandra says, Mama loves you, Rooney. Yeah, Mama loves you, Rooney. You baby cat. Yeah. And let me just go on record as saying that the only mama that Rooney's ever loved is Sandra. He was definitely a 1-person cat, but when Sandra came around, he cozied up to her so much, you made me a little jealous. You did. But I can't blame you. She's kind of cute, and you're a smart guy. Good job, bro. All right. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you need help creating yourself, building the life you love, we're here to help you. Make sure you make your appointments today. Go to our websites, find out how to do it. Thanks for the input. Let's think about that Merkaba thing. Feel free to get back to me with your thoughts on it. Wow, there's a lot of cat fur in my face. And until next time, I think I probably will do another podcast tonight. Well, I probably won't. I have to go see my mom. So I don't think I'll do another podcast tonight. Check out the ones we have done. Catch up. The divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you. And let me just say to you for sure, love and light, love and light. And be good to each other. Ask questions, question answers. Unindoctrinate yourself. And it is an inside job. And for goodness sakes, ladies and gentlemen, we're the last generation of real humans. Can we please get busy? Please? Please?